Hey guys, King of Charmanders here. Today I bring you a 9-0 shoutcast with my Pelipper, Mew, Grass Knot, Flame Charge, Safe Switch, and my closer G-Fist team. I did a 5-0. I did more battles and it happened to get me a 9-0. It's a really, these are really sweet battles, so I definitely wanted to shoutcast them and upload them to YouTube. So I hope you guys enjoy these battles. Again, if you look at the number right now, when the end of the video, it should go out to 796, so it is in fact a 9-0. So, hope you guys enjoyed the battles. Anyways, let's get started. Alright, here we go with the first battle on 9-0. Again, these are very sweaty battles. Like, this seems really good, and I really like it, but this 30-second switch timer is just absolute chaos. I went 5-0, and then I'm like, alright, you know what, let me just keep going. We get Obama Snow into Pelipper. This is great for us. Well, not really that great, to be honest with you. The thing is, Snowman actually beats you in this matchup, unless you Hurricane through Shield. So I'm gonna try to be a little fancy here. I'm facing a fellow legend, or at least he has the legend pose, so he's battled quite a few ways, and I get Energy Ball to the face. Oh. Yeah! Whoopee! That sucked a lot. Okay, so I thought I could live in Energy Ball, and sure enough, it was an Energy Ball. Luckily, they didn't get the debuff, because if they did, they would have been able to farm me down. However, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to actually fire both of my Weather Balls, and hopefully I do a lot of chip, because taking that Weather Ball was really bad. As you see, my opponent shields twice for some odd reason. I'm not sure if they mistapped or anything like that, but with 2 shields down, I should have a pretty comfortable matchup here. I said my G-Fist gets some extra energy, just because, you know, if you use Galarian Stunfisk, and if you get a lot of energy on it, it's really good. So I shield here because I'm hinting at another Energy Ball, and it does happen to be an Energy Ball. And now this is great, because I'm like, oh my gosh, this is the very reason why I have Grass Knot. It is just for Swampert and other Mud Boys. But I'm not going to shield this because I know I can eat a Hydro Cannon. It does big damage though, and if that's Shadow, it does even more, but it's not Shadow, so that's good. We're going to hit this Grass Knot, and Grass Knot does big damage. Grass Knots will yeet a whole Swampert from the face of the earth, as you see here, and Swampert goes down. Now my opponent does not know my secondary move, so they don't know that I have Flame Charge. They send in their Clefable. I'm just gonna actually, attempt to get to another move, and I actually fail miserably. This is actually pretty bad, because what I could have done was swap out, but either way, no matter what this Clefable throws at me, I resist everything. I resist the Meteor Mash, I resist the Moonblast, and I resist the Psychic. So what I'm gonna do here is I'm actually just gonna play it safe, and what I'm actually gonna do is I'm gonna triple Rock Slide. I can Earthquake here, however, if they catch the Earthquake, that would have been terrible. So, in order to just make the safest win condition here, all I'm gonna do is just save my shield and just save my shield for the Obama Snow, but I'm just going to double up on Rock Slide here and fire both of them, and that should be GG's. Again, I could have fired an Earthquake, however, like I said, if my opponent happened to catch it on Obama Snow resists Earthquake because it is a Grass type, so rather play the safer play than to be sorry. As you see here, I will get both Rock Slides off. This one should KO, and that's GG's. That was pretty sweaty by my opponent. Even my opponent didn't shield that last Energy Ball, I still would have been pretty comfy, because all I really had to do, I saw the shield, and then all I had to do was basically do the same thing here. All they did would have shielded one of my Rock Slides, but it still would have been GG's. Okay, so that's match number 1. Again, really sweaty battle. It's better when you play in this 30-second switch timer, try to make the safest win con as possible. For example, if you are thinking about sack swapping, overcharging, and doing something really fancy by someone that does a lot of fancy things and nukes his win condition probably a lot more than the average battler, do not do it. We get our second battle here, Pando SL, and I get my Pelipper into a Galvantula. This is absolutely terrible. You already know what I'm going to do here. You switch immediately. Mew's a fantastic safe switch. Imagine if you can have a Mewtwo in Great League. Well, that wasn't Shadow. It would probably be really cool to have. So I'm gonna fire my Flame Charge here. I'm a little surprised that they didn't shield right away, because if this goes through, this kills. So they're probably likely going to shield this move. And we get a little bit of lag, but we like Jesus isn't taking us today, and we manage to fire. We get the ground. The thing about it is they are going to fire a lunge here, so it's going to bring us back to normal attack, but that's perfectly fine. As you see here, I got a little bit of extra energy, how my opponent can swip out, and they do switch out to their Clefable. This is great, because now I got this Wigglytuff on my Pancake. Pancake is really comfortable here. I'm going to fire a Rock Slide in an attempt to bait, but the reason why I'm doing this is because I can expect the Galvantula is... I still need like a Rock Slide for Galvantula, so that's pretty much what I have here. I can't have Galvantula on my Pelipper, and even though Mew has Flame Charge, it's not a comfortable matchup against Galvantula because Lunge does Bug is super effective against Psychic. I can eat any move you give me, except it's probably an Ice Beam, so it's still going to do a hefty amount of damage because it does neutral damage, because Pancake is ground and steel. So I'm going to just fire all these Rock Slides. I'm going to hope to get a little bit of extra energy and farm down this Wigglytuff. This is really dangerous what I do here because, like, as you see, even though Charm's resisted, it still chunks. So I'm going to fire I'm going to get that full farm down, and my Galvantula is hurting. I fire a Rock Slide right away, and it happens to be an Azu. So this is kind of a terrible situation. My opponent still has something that's very strong, and my Pancake's almost dead. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to fire that, and I'm going to swap out immediately. All this extra energy is going to be nice. As you see, I'm overcharging a lot here. My opponent doesn't know I have Grass Knot. That's why I'm firing Grass Knot right here. So if this goes through, this will put Azu in the red. That's an if. And it does. So Azu's in the red. Now my opponent's like, oh crap. Now I have to like, now I'm in trouble. Not really. They're actually still fine. So I have multiple win conditions here. I can Weather Ball down with Pelipper, which is probably going to be my win con, well, all I have to do is really break that shield, break the second shield, and then I have to Rock Slide this Spooter. So, as you see here, I'm going for the Weather Ball, and they still have a move bank, so I will have to shield this, because one discharge will kill our poor little Toilet Bird. Well, it's not really little, it has a giant mouth. So this Weather Ball should take the last shield, because if they don't shield this, I can farm down. So, yeah, this is like, you gotta break those shields. You get the shield, and then you swap, and then a combo, and then it fires. This combo is great because this Rock Slide will kill the Spooter. Bug is weak to rock. So as you see here, bam, that goes through. Even though if Azu has Play Rough or Ice Beam, I live either one, and I should be able to get to another Weather Ball. As you see here, they are desperately trying to get to a move. Even if they did Play Rough me at this range, though, I could probably get to a Weather Ball anyways. And if I catch it right, I can win CMP because Pelipper wins CMP against Azu. Now, with how broken the game is, I wouldn't really depend on CMP, but you know, you gotta sometimes you gotta go for it. As you see, that's win number 2. Pretty sweet battle. We lost the lead hard. Losing the lead against a Galvantula that's a really hard loss. So luckily we were able to take that last shield, and I was able to Rock Slide for the W. Here's battle number 3 again. With 30-second switch times, you have to think really fast, but create as many I would say safe win conditions as you can. Safe win conditions meaning like you don't do anything fancy. Don't attempt to do anything fancy because there's so many catch and sack opportunities. Venusaur on my Pelipper, I technically lose this lead for the 3rd battle. As you see here, I'm gonna go for the textbook play here is to get to the Hurricane. And usually you have to Hurricane through shields, because if you don't, you're going to go down 2 shields before you can take out this Venusaur. As you see here, my opponent does switch into a DD. This is great. As you see, I'm trying to switch out. Doesn't let me right away, but this is great. Now I have my Stunfisk on their Deoxys defense. So what I'm going to expect to do is they're just going to Psycho Boost, which is actually a terrible move. You actually don't want to fire Psycho Boost here, just because just because the counters would do more damage. As you see here, I do get a move off anyways. This is an Earthquake. If they don't shield this is big damage. But don't fire Psycho Boost right away, especially like if you could like run the clock, just because it does debuff you. They swap out into their Venusaur. I'm going to fire a move right away, and because I don't really have a Hurricane, but this should likely break a shield because my opponent doesn't want to eat one. And they do shield. That's what I was thinking, because I was like, you know what, I probably have that Hurricane banked, and I fire my second one. My opponent's counting, they know this isn't a Hurricane, so they're probably not going to shield this. I will have to shield that Frenzy Plant, though. As you see here, we do get the Weather Ball through. I should be able to Frenzy Plant down at the expense of a shield. So, should be able to farm down here. So, my contingency plan is I have a DD that probably has Thunderbolt, or like Rock Slide will do big damage, so I have to fire right away. So as you see here, it's not, they don't send in the, they send in a Bastiodon, and this sucks. The reason being is because the only way I win this match is if I beat the unholy crap out of this Bastiodon. Because if you look at my, like, Pancake, like, my Pancake is at half HP, so it's gonna die to one Flamethrower. So what I'm doing here is I'm going to beat the unholy living crap out of this poor wall face. So I don't like, if for those of you that don't know me, unless I actually need it, I don't like Bastiodon. So yeah, I don't actually like Bastiodon. I hate it a lot, but it's okay. You know what? I actually have a rank 2, so the fact that I'm hating it so hard is kind of ironic. As you see here, my opponent is Psycho Boosting. Again, you didn't want to do it. If my opponent got chip damage and like a little bit of chip damage, and then Psycho Boosted me at the perfect range, they would have taken me out. Because they still have a shield, so they're going to expend their shield anyways. As you see here, if my opponent actually Psycho Boosted after doing a little more counter damage, they actually would have taken me out. Psycho Boost is a very risky move. However, if you're just using it because you're bandwagoning off everybody else and you don't know how to scientifically use it at range, it's a really bad matchup for you. Because here's what's going to happen. Because when you get Pancake on Bastiodon, guess what? Pancake can do a lot of damage. I go for the the Earthquake, but it doesn't matter here. All I have to do is send in Mew, and the Mew could Shadow Claw down. Just because Mew can survive one Flamethrower, or it can survive one... Because I have Flamethrower or Stone Edge. And I can get to a... I'll get to one. Do I sack here? Just to look... Okay, I don't actually sack on the Bastiodon. I had the opportunity to sack, but like I said, better safe than sorry. I don't want to get this... I don't want to lose just because I try to look cool, okay? Keep your win condition safe. Even though Bastiodon really beats us hard in the back, we take the W because Stunfisk is OP, and you use the Pancake for Bastiodon. And that's GG's. Really sweaty match, because I technically lose that Venusaur lead, like I said. Next is battle number 4. This is actually a friend from Twitch, so if you don't know, I stream on Twitch. If you watch me on Twitch, I appreciate y'all. You don't know, I stream Wednesday through Saturday from 8 a.m. till I'm done with my sets PST. So I face him, and this is a terrible lead. Yeah, this is a terrible lead. So he's pretty dang good. He's really good. So like I'm like, okay, I already know I'm like, okay, I'm sweating. It's gonna be a sweaty battle. I fire here my Weather Ball. I don't actually know how much Weather Ball does. That's why I'm a little confused. So what I'm gonna do here, this Rock Slide is gonna do big damage. So I swap out, and he actually swaps out with me. So I was like, oh, this is great. I wasn't expecting this because that's, well, actually what he was trying to do, I kind of got it, is they were actually trying to send a Volt Switch in. A Volt Switch would have taken out my Pelipper if it registered. So the fact that I was able to switch to my Stunfisk basically saved my Pelipper from dying. He calls my Earth, he calls my Bait, which is really great. If you play with people you know, you gotta be a little fancy. Usually if I play with friends I know because they know my nuke, my risky nuke style, I kind of have to play a little differently, and I attempt to do it here. So as you see here, I'm going to eat all these wild charges because since I'm super, I double resist this because of ground, so I'm taking any of them. Then I'm gonna Earthquake. So since he registered that I attempted a bait before, I theory he's like, okay, maybe he's baiting again. Nope, I'm not baiting. Earthquake goes through, it takes out the Melmetal, and now we have an Alolan Raichu along with something in the back, and it happens to be a Victini, and I was like, oh, this is terrible. Oh, this sucks. Because Victini's V-Create does a ton of damage. Yes, I'm okay, but I'm alright here because I can shield here. All I'm gonna do is really just Shadow Claw down. Because with the boosted Flame Charge, even if they do catch a move, as you see here, even if they catch it, my Shadow Claws that are boosted plus the Flame Charge should be able to allow me to just Shadow Claw down my poor friend here. As you see here, I'm just Shadow Clawing down because there's no way with that boosted move, there's no way he's going to get to another one. I even attempt to sack here, but again, because I have boost, because of all that boosted Shadow Claw damage, my opponent's just going to go down. Sadly, Confusion is slow, so V-Create takes a minute to get to. Well, you could double up and then fire, but like without being able to dip out, it's just like it was a really rough position. As you see here, that's the W. And right now we're 9-0. So I actually show you the battle where I lose. So if like you saw on the front, like the battles add up 71, and this should be 76 at the end. So that's 5 more battles. I do lose this battle. I do my best, but unfortunately I can't pull off the 10-0. I had 4 really sweaty matches. I lost the league twice, and now we get Skarmory into Pelipper. This sucks because I actually lose this hard. I switch into Mew, and then what happens is I get a Sableye. So basically, you can probably tell the story. I should have swapped. Well, my basic play here was to basically like try to get. Well, this is already we're already in a rough spot here because I have to get G-Fisk on that Skarmory. I try to flame charge. I do the flame charge, does big damage, and now this Sableye is down. However, the issue is that this Sableye can outpace me, and it also wins CMP. So what I'm gonna do here is I have to take out the Sableye. So that's yeah, I have to take out the Sableye. As you see, I swap out into my Pelipper. And this is actually a big mistake. I should have actually just stayed in and just sacrificed Mew. If I sacrificed Mew, this would have been a lot better. Because Mew has no use anyways, and I don't want to give up alignment to my opponent. As you see here, I attempt to Weather Ball down. And here's the thing, my opponent can get to a Brave Bird, so yeah, this is really rough. They can keep both of their shields, and they're going to be pretty comfortable in this. Yeah, they're pretty comfortable. They're vibing right now. They're vibing right now. As you see, it takes 3 Weather Balls to take out this Skarmory. I send in my G-Fisk attempting to catch a Sky Attack or a Brave Bird, and as you see here, it's an Azu in the back. Sadly, because it's an Azu in the back, I basically just get RPS'd because Stunfisk loses hard to Azu, even though they call my bait too, so they're just making all the right moves. So not only did I lose the RPS, but they can get to Hydro Pump. I'm down to Shield. So there are still win cons here, but like I misplayed this terribly. So, well, it's not that I misplayed, it's just there's not much you can do. I swap back into my Pelipper to attempt to catch a move. The problem is that they have so much. Skarmory has a lot of energy. They have shields. And I have to deal. Yeah, it's very rough. As you see, they send back in their Skarmory. And the problem is like I'm pretty dead here. I don't shield this, Sky Attack goes through, and then they have another one bank. So I'm going to send in my Pancake to get to a Rock Slide, but they have a Sableye. Sableye beats my Mew, and Azu just with shield disadvantage, it basically beats me. So there's not a lot I can do here. Sky Attack will go through, I will bank this, and then I fire the Rock Slide. Unfortunately, like I mentioned before, I don't have a big chance against... This is pretty much GG's, like I could already tell ahead of time. Because there's not much I can do in this scenario. This Rock Slide will take it out, however, because my opponent does have shield advantage, this is really rough. I sack Mew here, but the fact of the matter is it wouldn't have really mattered. So it's an Ice Beam, but basically that does KO, and unfortunately that's GG's. Had I got an Earthquake through, that would have been nice, but with having 2 shields, that like being at like they still have 2 shields, and and that's GG's. I hope you guys enjoyed these battles. They were really, really sweaty, but as you see here, 9-0, baby. Let's go. I hope you guys are enjoying this new 30-second switch timer event. Me, not so much, just because the game still lags, and I found out that, like, there's, like, if you have a slow switch time, like a smaller switch timer, and the game does lag, it does affect the game more because your opponent can get extra fast moves through, they can get more energy, and it benefits your opponent. Because it kind of messes up your rhythm versus theirs. So hopefully you guys enjoy the battles. Again, hopefully you're doing well in this switch timer event. It's almost over, so if you don't like it, it's almost over. If you do like it, sadly it's gonna go away soon. Hopefully they bring it back for like with an adjustment, like I would say 45 seconds. But before you bring back or do anything with a switch timer or anything with the game, please fix it. Like, the more important thing, rather than doing fancy events like with the switch timer or anything like that, or before adding anything new, the game needs to work at a consistent time. Like, it needs to work consistently, at least just for a little bit. And if it's anything we've shown in the past 3 years of Pokemon Go PvP, or the last year of Go Battle League, actually, Pokemon Go PvP just doesn't consistently work. If they can fix it, and fix it for a subsequent amount of time, and prove it to us, then fine, do changes. But until you can consistently keep it fixed, I don't trust Niantic to do anything with Pokemon Go PvP right now. Especially since, look, they made the switch up clear and people are still lagging really, really hard. I feel really bad, because not just me, a lot of other people are as well. Good luck in Go Battle League sets. Please like and subscribe to the channel. I do stuff like this all the time. And I will see you guys on the next video.